This is the Sivga Luan. It's named after a Chinese mythical bird that brought an omen of peace, and in a way, that precisely describes what these headphones are all about. I found that the Luan is one of the most relaxing and easiest cans I've listened to in a long time, combined with fantastic, and I mean bloody fantastic dynamics where it counts. Plus, let's not ignore how this thing looks. Ultimately, whether you like it or not, the Luan definitely demands attention. And attention it will get in this full review, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Aaron. Welcome to this episode. Let's do this. The Sivga Luan retails for $300 and it comes either in black or brown, which is what I have right here. 50mm dynamic drivers per side doing all the grunt work, 38 ohm impedance altogether, so it's a bit harder to drive than even say the Big Daddy Odyssey LCDX, for crying out loud. 352 grams altogether, so it's not bad at all. 1.6 meter long cable included in the box, color matched, 3.5mm to 3.5mm ending connectors, and it's not balanced in case you're wondering, of course. Build quality, this thing just looks spot on, guys. Looks more expensive than the $300 suggests. CNC milled headband, wishbone, and even the real wood is also CNC milled. Everything is just well put together. The hinges, here's the articulation that's available. So vertical like this, and then horizontal like this, and that's about it. And of course this twisting motion, which adjusts to most head shapes and head sizes, and for the best ear placement. In terms of ear placement, the opening right here for the ear pad is decent, not the widest, but it's super comfortable. It's tapered along this way, like a conical shape. But the padding, guys, this thing is super. They call this velvet, but it doesn't feel warm. Usually velvet is just like a heat builder, but these things are so refreshingly cool. There's perforations on the inside. I love this thing. This is one of the best. And the headband right here is partly leather at the top and velvet at the bottom as well, similar to materials to the ear pads. Let me take this off. This thing is removable, unlike even the LCDX that we looked at last week. So all you need is a little clockwise click like this, and you can see that the whole assembly or the driver assembly is pointed directly at your ear canal, which is nice. The diaphragm, as you can see right there peeking through this mesh grill, is nickel coated, and the dome right here in the middle is carbon fiber composite. The case that comes with the Luan is really well made, guys. It looks more expensive than it actually is as well, until you flip it on its either side of its back, and then you notice that. We'll talk more about that in a second. But in terms of utility, the zipper is a nice smooth action. On the top you have a carry loop, which is also removable as well. And on the inside is just a nice felt lined surface to protect your headphones. And it also comes with this hemp pouch that stores your cable, and also a free connector right there. Before I get to talking about SQ and all of that, I have to stop and say that this thing looks so good, guys. It belongs on a mantle somewhere in your house for everybody to see, or even in a museum collection or something. All the major touch points give the initial impression that the headphone is handcrafted, even though it is not. They mostly came off a CNC machine. That's how convincing the entire package is. And the combination of the wooden housing, especially in this brown color, and also the tan leather / velvet headband and ear cup, they look exquisite together. The slider mechanism, it looks like it'll be as stiff as a gargantuan monkey fist, right? But in real life, it turns out to be intuitive and effective. So let's salute, yam sing, raise a glass, kampai, the designers, and also the individual who lovingly put this showpiece together. So a few notes about sound quality. The Luan isn't that difficult to drive, but I'll say this, it sounds exponentially better the more power you feed it, within reason of course. Overall, the sound profile is well balanced, which means it's also suitable for all kinds of music. And even though they list this as an open back, two things I noticed. First, there's not much sound leakage. That's very strange. And secondly, sound staging isn't expansive. It's just deep and wide enough to give music and vocals space to surround your head. There's not much in the way of sub-bass rumble to satisfy bass heads, but I'll tell you this. All it takes is for you to hear an acoustic guitar play some low E notes on this thing for you to be a convert, to be a fan of how smooth, how fast, how controlled the Luan handles the lower registers. Detail is very good as well. It's not great, but it's so satisfying when it does. From the bow strokes of the double bass in Sarah McLachlan's ASPCA anthem to the crashing drums in Arctic Monkeys' Arabella. So with the right songs, cadences are perfectly judged with the right amount of timbre and energy. And you either love or tolerate the treble, especially for metal tracks. I mean, it impressively stays composed as close to max volume as I would dare, but there's a lot of high-pitched energy that, at least to me, messes with the details and, just as importantly, is draining. These Luans are quite possibly made specifically for my head. It fits like a glove with just the right amount of squeeze, but it feels also like I'm wearing clouds on my head at the same time. It's a hard combination to get right, but for this weirdly shaped cranium from Malaysia, it is perfect. I never want to take it off. Sivga calls the plushy ear pads velvet, but it's not warm. They breathe surprisingly well while still providing a good passive seal. Between the soft headband and the pads with large openings, all the nearly 400 grams just fade into the distance. Just fade into the distance. As for the negatives, it's sad to say that I have none. Apart from the little faults that I mentioned earlier, like the lack of sub bass and maybe including a balance cable would have been nice in the packaging. Well, since you got me started on the cable is sort of a mixed bag. It's well made and has some really nice visual touches, like the spring in place of a regular old PU cable protector and the bright work bits and bobs here and there, and the matching color. But it's let down by being somewhat stiff. It reminds me of a catheter or a tourniquet or something, and also a small amount of microphonics. Totally not a deal breaker and is good enough to use, but I thought I'll mention it anyway. And then there is this. Some people will call it the double chin case or the horse saddle case. The less kind ones will call it the cleavage case, and I call it the butt case. And it does a great job of protecting your lawns, but come on. I'm not taking this out in public. Like, you know, oh look, this thing is dirty right there, and yeah, let's clean this. This is the first Sivga headphone I've ever reviewed on this channel, and if this is how this audio outfit plays ball, I hope I get invited back to play with more of their balls. I can never get through this. Who wrote this anyway? But anyways, the Luan is easily one of my favorites this year. There's no ifs and or buts about it. aside from the case that is. The headphone is beautiful, it's comfortable on your head, and if I had not told you the price, you'd probably be shocked because this sounds at least twice as good as the MSRP suggests. So all I have to say is go out and buy one right now, right this second. Unless, you're looking for thunderous bass, then forget about it. Well, that was brutal. Not the headphone, this thing was amazing, but whoever wrote today's script, yeah, that person is a farce. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you like it, subscribe down below, join the conversation down in the comments, say hi, and I'll try to say hi back. And oh yeah, I just started this new YouTube membership thing, so if you like to just support some, you get some perks back, and there's only one tier, so it's not hard to select. I'm just testing this out, testing out the waters and see how that goes. So let me know down in the comments if you like it, or better yet, be a member of GearUP, be a GearUpper. So anyways, remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, guys, because guess what? If you haven't seen the news, the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. Peace out, and God bless. Whoosh.